Welcome to The Power of Potential, a podcast hosted and produced by St. Rose High School in Belmar, New Jersey. The show is dedicated to helping parents navigate the world of private education while showcasing the potential of its students, teachers, and alumni. St. Rose High School has been empowering potential since 1923. Now, here are your hosts, Director of Communications, Michael Falgaris, and from the class of 2024, Ariana Simon.
Welcome to the Power Potential Podcast. I'm Ariana Simon.
I'm Michael Falgaris.
Today we're talking with Michael Fluhr and Nicholas Xanthacos. They are both caddies, and this year they both received the Chick Evans Scholarship. Just as a reminder, new episodes drop every Tuesday, and you can listen to our past episodes and see the show notes at srhsnj.com/pop.
And make sure you favorite the show, subscribe, like it. That will really help us out. On last week's show, Lindsay Byer.
Yes,
she
so
was
impressive.
amazing with her skating.
Yes.
And we're excited to see what comes of that. So if you missed that episode, make sure you check it out. In 1930, the Western Golf Association and celebrated amateur golfer Charles Chick Evans Jr. established the Evans Scholarship Foundation. Now, foundation's mission was to provide full tuition and college scholarships to caddies. And the first two Evans scholars enrolled at Northwestern University. That was in 1930, which is still older than our school here at St. Rose, right? 1923 is when we started. And since then, over 11,323 young men and women have graduated as Evans Scholars. This year, there are a little over 1,000 Evans Scholars enrolled at 19 leading universities nationwide. And this year, again, we have two students from St. Rose High School. We're proud to announce that Michael Fluhr and Nick Xanthacos from the class of 2021 were named as Evans Scholars. Where are you guys going next year? Michael, where are you headed?
I'm going to The Ohio State University.
And where are you headed?
I'm also going to The Ohio State University.
You guys are you rooming together?
We'd like to room together. The way it works is that we put together a roommate preference sheet, and most likely we'll end up together, but they take that into consideration, and they might change it up, but yeah.
So it's Spirit Week. You guys are dressed as twins, but it's just how appropriate on today's podcast that you're wearing your caddy uniforms. Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in caddy, because ever since I heard about this Evans Scholarship, my son's 5 now. I want to get him involved to get him in the running for this. But how did you get involved in caddying, Nick?
I got involved in caddying through the group of caddies at St. Rose. They were constantly talking about it, and I was hearing about it, and I decided that I would like to try it out. And as soon as I started, I fell in love with it.
How old were you?
I was going into junior year.
Oh, really?
Sophomore summer, yeah.
And what about you, Mike?
I got started a little earlier. I heard about the program from caddies at Spring Lake Golf Club that are family friends, and so I got started my summer going into freshman year, and same with Nick. I've loved it ever since.
And Nick, your brother, is going to be caddying for the first time now,
yes.
and he's a sophomore.
Yes, he is.
So what's caddying like? I mean, I've done miniature golf.
I play a little golf. I'm on the golf team here. I played a little golf, but caddying's a whole other thing. Like they do a lot more than just like the golfer that like hits the ball. Like they know a lot about what club to use, and they give recommendations to the golfers. So that's a whole. You go to like caddy school, right? Like to learn.
You go through a caddy training course put through by Mike Knapp, the caddy master at Spring Lake.
Yeah.
So this is all through the Spring Lake Golf Club here in Spring Lake.
Yes.
So you go through this program, and what do they teach you?
Well, the breakdown of caddying, there's like several different aspects to it. So when you start off your round, you introduce yourself to the player you're caddying for. You start by cleaning their clubs and just meeting them. Then once you get out onto the golf course, the caddy is responsible for several little jobs, like besides just carrying the clubs. For example, we have to find the golf ball, get the exact yardage, how far the golfer is from the hole. We have to rake the bunkers, read greens, tend the flag, replace divots. So there's a lot of little activities that are involved in caddying that are crucial. So we learn all that in the training program, and that's what we do at Spring Lake.
So if there's a member who wants to golf, do they have to reserve a caddy, or does every golfer get a caddy?
So the way it works is members can choose if they want to take a caddy. Actually, I believe on weekends, members, every member gets a caddy in the morning. Like they have to take a caddy, and more than like a ton of the members are more than happy to take a caddy. They love having someone caddy
Sure.
for them. So that's everyone on the weekends pretty much takes a caddy. But then in the afternoon, like a certain time period, you have the option if you don't want to take a caddy, because a lot of the caddies will go out in the morning when everyone's
And then it typically runs it. I'm sure they run out of caddies.
exactly yeah.
Yeah. How long is a round of golf?
It's about 4 hours.
Yeah,
4
it's
hours.
long.
Yeah.
So you're with the same person for the 4 hours. Is it one person, like 1-to-1, or is it if a group of 4 people are playing together?
It can be, you can have up from 1 to 4 people, depending on what they're doing. If they're riding a cart, or it could be just 2 people. It can be you and 4 others, or you and 1, you and 2. Depends on the group.
Now, do you have to be a good golfer to be a good caddy?
No, I mean, golf knowledge is definitely it definitely helps when it comes to caddying. However, you don't need any golf skill at all to become a good caddy. I mean, when Nick first started caddying, I taught him about the game of golf to help him with the caddy process, because if you know how the golf works, regardless of how good you are, you're going to be a good caddy. It definitely helps, and I feel like it's harder for those that aren't familiar with golf to get into caddying, but having golf knowledge definitely helps regardless of your golf skill level.
Is there a funny story or something from the golf course that you could share, whether it was something that happened that you thought was interesting, or something you did that maybe you shouldn't have done? Anything you could share? Anything that comes to mind?
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of little things, like just every morning on weekends, just hanging out in the caddy yard with the guys that are my friends that I go to high school with, that I've known for a long time. It's just a fun experience, like while we're waiting to get out, to just talk about what we're doing on the weekends and just like hang out. And then once we're out on the course, it's like it's more serious, but we're still involved in that like fun conversation. And there's plenty of funny stories where like we had a minor mess up, but it ends up being all good. And those are stuff we always enjoy talking about, our experiences out on the course.
And you're learning from it.
Exactly.
So how does this experience lead into the scholarship, and what was that process like of going through the application?
The scholarship was first brought towards to me by Mike Knapp, the caddy master. He asked how my grades are, how I'm doing in school, stuff like that, and just about me, and then suggested it to me, so then I applied online. And
you applied when?
We had to apply in August of 2020 for this year's scholarship, and it was due by October.
Okay, wow. And what is that application like?
So there's 4 main criteria to the Evans Scholarship. You need to have an outstanding caddy record. You need to demonstrate really good grades in school. You need to also have a certain financial need. And then finally, you need to have good character and leadership demonstrated in like volunteer activities and community service like that. So for the application, we'd put down all our school activities, our GPA. You can include SAT scores, all our extracurricular activities, and also we had to write an essay to go along with our application. And
is the essay similar to the college process?
Yeah, it was a similar essay. You just had to, I believe the prompt was pretty vague. You just had to like pretty much just share your story, and that was nice to really get into our personal experiences.
Yeah. So how do you get a perfect caddy record?
Yeah, like how does that happen?
I mean, no caddy's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes, but
who's scoring you?
Yeah.
There's no like scoring or grading.
It's just members telling our caddy master after the round things we did good and stuff like that.
Yeah. So afterwards, the member, like if we did a good job, especially when you're starting out, we'll tell our boss like, hey, this kid's doing a good job, and that'll help us rise in the ranks. And like obviously caddying is a big seniority thing. When you first start out, you're not going to get out as much as the older caddies, but once you get some traction and the members start complimenting you to our boss, it's going to help you along the process and build a little resume for yourself as a caddy.
Can you get requested? Can a member say, I want this caddy? And then do caddies get paid?
Yeah, definitely. The money, aside from all the scholarship opportunities and the networking, I have to say it's a great job in general, and the money is pretty good. It's we get the members tip us well, and there's a lot of good people over there.
Yeah, I'm sure they appreciate a good caddy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you apply now. This is August. I remember setting up interviews for you guys. But that happened like before Christmas, or was it?
No, it was afterwards. It was actually
Christmas.
in February.
Okay.
So in late January, me and Nick were, along with a bunch of other people, were notified that we were finalists for the Evans Scholarship, and that we were going to have a Zoom interview to confirm our fit within the Evans community, and that took place in February.
Now, what was that interview like? I remember, watching you from the door. I almost went in thinking that you weren't in there, but you were ready and you started. What was that interview process like?
It was mostly about yourself. It was pretty nerve-wracking, but you're talking about yourself, and they're going to ask you questions about you, and they have like a little spreadsheet of like a portion of your resume that everyone in the Zoom call can see, all Evans scholars and board members can see. They're going to ask you questions based on that piece of your resume.
The purpose of the interview is just to get to know the caddy. It's not really to weed us out and like intimidate you. It's really just so like the Evans board can familiarize themselves with us and make sure that we're going to be a good fit in the Evans house. And like Nick said, to be completely honest, it was a little nerve-wracking at first, but they actually gave us a prep webinar where we talked to current and past Evans scholars that told us exactly how the interview was going to go, and that kind of calmed our nerves for the real interview in front of the board, and we both did pretty well, I'd say. So
what's the Evans house?
The Evans house is it's like where we're going to be staying at college instead of like a regular college dorm. I guess it's similar to it would maybe a fraternity house. It's just outside of campus. There's like typical dorm rooms, but the really cool thing about the Evans house is that I would say the Evans house is a lot better than your typical college dorms. Our Evans house at Ohio State has its a small personal gym, several lounges, flat screen TVs, a little rec room with a pool table, ping pong table. So we're really excited for that experience.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So because the Evans Scholarship is going to cover you, it's 100%. It's your full college life from housing to
almost everything. It's tuition and room and board. The only thing we have to cover is meal plans,
which you can get through the college or not.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it. And so now, when did you get notified that you were the winners of the scholarship?
It was like
snowing out.
Yeah, it was about mid-February, like maybe 10-ish days after our interview. It was a little more than about a week and a half afterwards. It was like we both got the letter on the same day in the mail. I remember it was like snowing. It was like this snowstorm where we had like a almost like 8 inches of snow outside.
Oh,
and we
okay.
got the FedEx priority mail with the whole letter saying that we have been awarded the scholarship.
I was fast asleep, and my mom just like busted it, and she's like, open it. I'm like, oh, all right. Anyway, I didn't even know how to react. Like, I literally just was like, ah.
I'm sure your parents had to be excited.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it's such a weight lifted off their shoulders. Mm-hmm. Plus, they're so happy that you guys have won that award. What happens now? What was like in the packet? You won it. Now what? You just have to continue to do well, graduate, and then you're good to go.
Evans scholars, they're required to meet certain criteria throughout the 4 years, keeping a GPA, being a good house member, certain things like that.
Yeah, so the letter included, but besides the congratulations, it encourages us to continue caddying at our club through the summer and continue keeping up our grades our senior year, and then it would go into our like Nick was saying, the requirements for us at the Evans house for next year. So
there's a possibility that people who are Evans scholars who go to go on to college and don't do well in college could potentially lose the scholarship.
That is very rare, but
it's not.
It could happen. But the Evans community has a great support system of academic advisors to really prevent that. And there's a ton of. We actually just had a Zoom meeting this past weekend with current Evans scholars at Ohio State to prep us. It was an open house, virtual open house, and there's a ton of study groups, and so it's very unlikely that will happen. And there's a great support system in case you're sliding off a little bit. Everyone will help you get back up.
And I'm sure in the Evans house that you're going to be with older people that are sophomores, juniors, and seniors who've won the scholarship that are there to help you and be there for you, right?
Exactly, it's a big support system.
Is it co-ed?
Yes.
It is, yes.
So there's both. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't see many. Do you see many female caddies? Is there some at Spring Lake?
A couple at our club, yeah.
Spring Lake there is a handful, and all of them are great caddies. Yeah, so I mean, there's definitely a lot more guys, but at Spring Lake there's a good handful of girls that are very good caddies, and Sam Bemke, who graduated here, I think in 2017,
Who won? Yeah.
got the Evans Scholarship, and she's a senior at Ohio State now, so she'll be leaving Ohio State and we'll be moving in. So
Wow. So does she come? Do you guys come back from college like during your breaks in summer and caddy? Can you still do it?
Yeah, we're gonna caddy.
Exactly.
Okay.
We plan to caddy throughout college and summer. It's the money, and continue to keep it up.
I'm sure the relationships that you build with these people that are.
Yes.
The networking and connections, like the college advice I've gotten from so many members at Spring Lake has been great.
And the great people you meet, like they're all amazing people.
Yeah. So one of our board members, Fro Heine, is very involved, right? In the club, and then here with our students. And I know, Nick, Alex, you're gonna be caddying for the first time. Excited? You're nervous? He said he had to buy something. What did you have to buy?
I have to buy a rangefinder.
What is that?
A rangefinder is a little device like most caddies have to gauge how far the golfer is from the pin. So it's like a little box that you use to hone in on the pin, and it'll tell you you're exactly 150 yards away from the hole.
See, my Wii does that when I play Wii Golf on Wii Sports.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes. Yep.
Well, that's great. Well, so what would be your advice? Someone that might be a freshman, might be listening to this podcast, they might be interested in this scholarship or just in the opportunity to caddy. What should they do?
Well, I'd definitely encourage them to get involved, talk to any friends or upperclassmen that they know, family members that caddy, because I would, once they get that going, I would reach out to our boss, Mike Knapp, and, you could get yourself involved in the training program. And as me and Nick have said, there's so many scholarship opportunities, connections, and so much more than just a summer job through caddying that I would encourage any freshman boy or girl or younger, older, however, to get involved.
It's quite exciting. We had 2 students this year
Yes.
and 2 students last year who won. And that was Nolan Bemke and Sean Donahue. And then Nolan's sister, Samantha, which she's a senior now, like you said. It's just amazing how many of these scholars that are getting the scholarship
Yeah.
have come through St. Rose. We're quite excited
Yes,
about that.
it's very exciting and very impressive.
Yeah.
That so many have come through here and now are successful at college. It's impressive.
Well, guys, congratulations on this. Congratulations on moving on as being seniors and graduating. I'm sure you only have a few days left of school, a couple weeks?
Yeah.
Or you have a countdown?
Yeah, a
little more?
Like four weeks.
No, it's 17 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Someone's counting.
Do you have any idea what you want to do with your life? Have you thought about that? I know it's...
I'm going into information systems in college. That's business analytics, and I'm excited for that. So, yeah.
Analytics is big, right? Big data.
Business administration, law.
Law. All right. There you go. Well, I'm excited to see what you guys do. We're going to take a little break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
As you begin your own St. Rose journey, our admissions team is here to partner with you. We're here to guide you along the way. Our website will offer a glimpse into life at St. Rose, but it only tells part of the story. We look forward to hosting you for an in-person visit soon so that you can experience St. Rose firsthand. Ready to learn more? Find out about whether St. Rose may be right for your family. To watch and listen to the show extras or to check out the show notes from today's episode, visit srhsnj.com/pop.
All right. What a great show. I'm just amazed at the young people that we have here at St. Rose.
Me too. I mean, I know that one boy in my grade is going to caddy school now, so I'm hoping that he'll also get the scholarship because he's my friend, but it's just so impressive.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
And as a parent, I've started saving and setting up accounts for my son just to think that to get that package and open it up and just be like, wow.
Yeah.
Because it's one
Big
thing you
deal.
worry about as a parent, and I only have one. I mean, I know you both have siblings, and so to be able to have to save money for college, and college is so expensive, but so necessary, it's really great. What is coming up on next week's show? I'm excited about this.
Next week, we're going to be talking about the stock market game. What would you do if you were given $100,000? Would you spend it all at once? Would you think about putting some of it in the bank? we'd like to teach you how to invest it so you might grow it. Through the stock market game, you'll gain a fundamental understanding of investing and how you might get your money to work for you. On next week's episode, we'll be meeting Mr. Anthony Attardo, the finance and business teacher here at St. Rose, and a few of his students involved in the stock market game. We'll find out how their portfolios are doing and maybe even get some stock market advice ourselves. That's on next week's episode.
That's great. And then Spirit Week is in full swing.
Yes.
Clash of the Classes is coming up on Thursday. You guys have any predictions on who's going to win?
Oh, the seniors are taking it easy.
Easily.
Yeah. No competition.
I don't know.
I mean, it seems like that's typically the way it goes. I don't know if it's rigged that way or if the seniors really win. But I'm excited to see what's your favorite game?
Tug of war.
Tug of war, definitely.
Okay.
That's the crowd's favorite.
That's the crowd favorite. Yeah, definitely. So we're excited to see that. There'll be videos online, whether you can watch on the live stream or watch back. Just check out our social media. And remember, if you want to just check out the show notes from today's episode or see any photos or behind the scenes videos, check out our website at srhsnj.com/pop. Thanks again.
Yes,
Gentlemen, thanks for being here.
you.
Of course, thank you.
All right. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Power of Potential podcast. We'll see you back here next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Power of Potential podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Subscribe to hear past and future episodes. Learn more about St. Rose by visiting our website at srhsnj.com.